My mic wasn't on. But we ready to go this morning. I'm not going to make you run through the intro again. But we thank God for just having everybody today. Let me slide my chair over just a little bit so we can be center. All right. But a lot of people probably clicked on the video maybe just because of the text or the subject. I'm tired of my situation, right? Where do we start? There's a lot of people who can truly relate to this, that you can say without a shadow of a doubt that you're just sick of being in the situation you're in, right? And it doesn't matter how long you've been there. Now, this is not necessarily something that has to do with money. Doesn't have to do with anything. But there is a place in your life right now where you feel like, if I don't get out of this spot, I'm not gonna make it, right? I'm sick of my situation. I'm sick of the people that want to tell me this and that about my life, but don't really recognize that they got stuff going on with their life. I'm tired of being controlled by people. I'm tired of whatever issue it may be. Most of us have come to most of us have come to a place where we can say, man, I'm just tired of this. I'm sick of this, right? I'm tired. Jesus, the one thing I like about who he was, and many things that I like about who he was, but one of the things is that although he was fully God, he was also 100% man. He was 100% man. So he got tired sometimes. And we find Christ seated. We found Christ even when they went to when he went to meet the woman at the well in Samaria. They had walked for almost 6 hours, and his physical side said, "You know what? Y'all go get lunch. I'm tired. I'm gonna sit down." Even when they were on a boat and the storm was raging all around him, and they found him sleeping in the back of the boat, he said, "I'm tired," right? We all get tired. We all get sick of our situations. So what are we supposed to do with that? Like, what is the solution for being tired of your situation? Well, sometimes we like to go back always to the familiar of what we've always done and how we've always done it. And we don't allow ourselves to be able to move forward into what God is calling us to. If you ever noticed, we work very hard to maintain the status quo of who people think we are. In other words, if you're a wild person, you'll maintain that status quo. And even during times when you feel like you want to turn it down, you got to put on airs for other people. Not even necessarily airs. It just comes naturally that when people see me, they expect me to be this way, whether it's conservative or whether it's, wild and crazy. And a lot of people who do drugs and get high or whatever, those drugs or alcohol or whatever it may be allows people to kind of act their real selves. So you hear people saying, drugs and alcohol make more of you come out, the real you come out. And most of what we do on an everyday basis is just putting that real self and hiding it away, or hiding him away or her away. And you can get tired of doing that. You can get tired of doing that. So it is not necessarily something that's financial or something that's just, I mean, you can be tired of your relationships, your situations, your people you got to deal with on a daily basis, right? I want to show you a scripture real quick. And I don't know how you feel when I pull up the scriptures, but this is something that this channel is all about, being able to pull the scriptures. Even those of us who are not Christian or, don't necessarily believe in the Bible, but this is where we draw our hope from, our guidance from. So watch this story. It's just a story, right? It says, then they came to Jericho. They're talking about the disciples and Jesus, right? As Jesus and his disciples, together with a large crowd, were leaving a city, and a blind man called Bartimaeus, which means the son of Timaeus, was sitting on the roadside begging. Now, let's paint the picture. They are in a large crowd, which means this man who's blind is just another voice in the crowd. He's just another person in the crowd. Many might not notice him. He's on the side of the road. I can imagine that he's sitting down, and there's a psychology that happens when you're in need, but yet you're in a huge crowd, right? I'm in need, I'm out here, I'm in need, but there's so many people that it seems like my issues get pushed to the side. How many people felt like that, right? There's so many people who are in need that some of my needs feel like nobody's really listening. So it's a large crowd. He's sitting on the roadside. Nobody's really paying this guy any mind. His name is Bartimaeus, which means the son of Timaeus. In other words, he has his father's name, son of Timaeus, and he's on the roadside begging. Now, let me give you a little background on this guy, right? He has not always been blind. It's a time in his life where he has had some light, right? That's good coffee. He's seen some light. He's seen some things happen before. And when he had heard that Jesus of Nazareth, when he heard it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to shout. Now, I don't know how he heard Jesus was coming. He could have heard other people screaming Jesus's name. Somebody next to him may say, that's Jesus coming. I don't know how he heard it. But however he heard it, the Bible says that he started to shout. He started to yell. He said, Jesus, son of David, have mercy on me. Big crowd. Blind man. He's at the lowest part of the social ladder. And yet he's crying out that the star of the show, Jesus, who's coming through the town. Now, keep in mind, by this time, Jesus had done a whole lot of miracles. And his reputation has gotten to this man before he did. And they say this guy's a miracle worker. He's a healer. He can do some amazing things. Now, some people believed it, some people didn't. But when this man heard that Jesus was coming, he yelled something that a lot of people really disputed. He said, Jesus, son of David. What does that mean? If he's calling him son of David, right, that means that he understood the prophecy that had gone on before that said that the Messiah would be from the seed of David or from the lineage of David. And so now, not only is he just recognizing him as a miracle worker or somebody who can do, tricks, but now he's putting on him divinity and saying, son of David, the Messiah, the one who is supposed to come down, right? You're him. Have mercy on me. Now, I don't know about you, but sometimes it feels like, although I'm in a crowd, although, it's a lot of stuff going on, there's something selfish about me that says, God, I know all these people are calling, but I need you for myself. I need you for me. And what we do, we make it personal. Have mercy on me. Like, and I don't know, if I were him, I would have did the same thing. But guess what happened in verse 48? He said, many rebuked him and told him to be quiet. But, and that's amazing, because you ever try to get something or, get something, anything done. Let's say you're trying to go get a business license. I don't know what it is, a business license, for instance. And then the secretary want to tell you, no, you got to do this. You got to jump through this hoop. You got to do that. Or you try to go do this, and you got this person that is not even the boss, right? And they want to tell you all this stuff you got to go through in order to get what you need. Good morning, everybody. And make sure I forgot to ask y'all to give me a good morning. Let me know you in the chat. And comment, y'all. This is all of our show. So let me know what you're thinking, okay? But this boss, this secretary, this middleman, whatever it is, you got somebody always there who want to tell you, nah, leave the boss alone. They told this guy to shut up. How you going to tell a man who needs as much as he needs to shut up? And that's where a lot of us are right now today. As much as I need, right? I need God to move right now. Like, it ain't no ifs, ands, or buts, or maybe. Where I am right now in my life, with my relationship, with my finances, with my children, with everything that's going on, with me trying to go back to school, with me trying to find a new career, I don't have time for middlemen telling me to shut up. Right? And he said, Jesus stopped. Well, let me go back. I skipped the verse. He says, when he heard it was Jesus of Nazareth, he shouted, Jesus, son of David, have mercy on me. Verse 48, many rebuked him and told him to be quiet. They told him to shut up. But he shouted more. When you come to that spot where people are telling you to be quiet, or where you have the biggest opposition, that's a sign that your miracle is just around the corner. Check that. Check it out, right? He had an idea that it was Jesus. But when they told him to shut up, he knew for a fact it was him. The thing that's telling you to shut up right now, the thing that's trying to oppose you right now, is a key indication that your miracle is right around the corner. He told them to shut up, be quiet, but it made him shout louder. See, this is the point. This is the turning point, right? Because you got a choice today. You got a choice this morning. Are you going to shut up, or are you going to shout louder? Are you going to shut up, or are you going to shout louder? Are you going to listen to what is being said and stop doing what you're doing and say, oh, they must know something that I don't know. Let me just quit right here. This dude shouted all the more until he made Jesus stop. Right? He made Jesus himself stop in his tracks. And Jesus said to him, he told the people, he said, call him. Call him over. Now, I believe that Jesus could have easily called him himself. But he made the same people who told him to shut up, he made them promote him. The same people that told this man to shut up, Jesus made them give him the promotion and told him, call him up. Now you got to check that out, because I believe that God will use the same people who tried to hurt you to call you and promote you up. Stop getting mad. He didn't get mad with them. He never addressed the haters. He never addressed the people that were telling him to shut up. He just kept calling on the name. And many of us are wasting our time arguing with people who are middlemen, arguing with people who don't have any power, any kind of say-so, none of that. And we're sitting here arguing with them when your job is not to argue with them. Just keep calling on his name. And all they are signals and signs that Jesus is just around the corner. He knew because of the opposition that God is right here. He's close. And so now you wake up this morning and you say, man, I don't know if I can take it anymore. I don't know if I can do this anymore. I don't know if it's worth it. I don't know. I can't do this, right? Maybe this opposition that you feel is a sign and a signal that you need to shout even louder, that you need to go even harder, that you need to make sure that at the end of the day today, you've done everything you can to get where you're trying to go. Why? Because those haters are a sign that God is right around the corner. And he made those same people call him up. And so watch this, in verse 49, he said, so they called to the blind man, cheer up, on your feet, he's calling you. Now the same ones who told him to shut up are telling him to cheer up. Y'all hear that? Like me swallowing and everything? I got the mic right here. But let me hear y'all comments on this, man. It's amazing because we get these middlemen, right? Who always want to like sit back and tell you what can't be done, what's not in the budget, right? Stop worrying about those middlemen and recognize that he's calling. Recognize that Jesus is calling. Now watch this. They told him to cheer up, get on your feet. He's calling you. Now we're in Mark chapter 10, verse 46. In verse 50, he said, throwing his coat aside, he threw the coat that he used to beg with. This coat he had was a representative of the life that he knew, right? The sadder you look, the poorer you look, the more people will have pity on you and more people will give to you, right? And so this old dirty cloak that he had wore, he picked it up and he threw it aside and he said, I'm not gonna need this anymore. Good morning, Reverend Buck. Good to see you this morning. I'm not gonna need this coat anymore because I don't plan on coming back here. Once God delivers you out of something, it's your job now to say, I'm going to get rid of everything that reminds me of where I used to be. There's nothing about my life, there will be nothing about my life that will remind me of my past. I'm getting rid of this coat. I'm throwing it to the side. And he said that he jumped to his feet and came to Jesus. That's powerful right there. Imagine this guy, he had sight before. Now check that out now. It's one thing when you've never had sight. Stevie Wonder has never seen light. He was born blind. But Ray Charles, right? He had a problem with being blind because he remembered what light was like. And now it's hard to go on in the dark when you remember that light. This guy said, there's somebody here that can make a change in my life, and I'm not going to wait for the haters to tell me it's okay. I'm not going to wait for anything. He jumped to his feet. He said, my eyes not working, but my feet still working. and if your feet still working, that's enough for you to get up right there. Right? We always worried about what's not, what we don't have. Focus on what you do got. He said, my legs working, my feet working, right? And say, I'm going to come to Jesus. I may not be able to see, but I know that he's here somewhere because of these haters, right? And he said, blind man, verse 51, it says, what do you want me to do for you? This is what Jesus said to him. Now, come on, Christ. This man is blind. Yet you're asking him what he wants from you. Of course, one would think that the automatic answer would be, I want to see. Right? But that was not the automatic answer. Why? But because there's many people who've begged so much that they become good at it. They spent their whole lives in a place of begging, in a place of poverty, in a place of all this kind of negativity, that they're no longer able to move out of the place of poverty to a place of blessings. Why? Because they're used to it. This is what they know. And I talk about it all the time. This is what causes you, as an able-bodied man, I'm not talking about anybody who is not able or who have mental problems, right? An able-bodied man that'll stand next to a help wanted sign with a please help sign. I've seen it. Because you feel more comfortable in your situation. Remember the blind man at the gate called Beautiful. Remember him? Jesus said, what do you want? What is it that you're asking for? He said, well, people keep telling me that I can't, do this. And he kept making excuses for why he was in the situation he was. But check this out. Just because you're poor doesn't necessarily mean you have the mind and the want and the will to get out of it. There are some people. I remember working at TCC, right? I was a night security guard right before my daughter was born. It's probably about 12 years ago. 12, 13 years ago now. Working overnight security. And there was these homeless people that we would always just sit out and talk to. And I remember asking one, because I had some work that I needed done, and I was going to pay somebody to do it. So my plan was the next day I was going to get some guys from off the street. I had a little extra money, and I was going to have them do this work so that they can get the money, right? And so I show up the next day after I had told them, meet me here. We're going to go do some work and get some money. Nobody showed up. And the next night when I got to work, I said, what happened? I thought we were going to all meet. And they were like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. A mentality of not really wanting, this is not everybody. There are some people who have legitimate reasons on why they are where they are. I'm not saying that, right? But there are some people who are comfortable where they are. And that's why he asked the question, what do you want? And I'm asking you today, right? What do you want? If Jesus were to come around your corner right now, would you ask him just, give me some, because this guy probably could have asked, just give me a few dollars so I can make it, right? But he didn't want Jesus to heal the symptom. He wanted Jesus to heal the problem, the root of the problem. The root of my problem is I'm blind. And a lot of times we try to cure the symptom instead of coming up and saying, I want to cure the root of the problem, the real illness of my life. I want to be able to address that. And so Jesus was trying to figure out, do you know the root of your issue of why you out here begging? And he asked him, and he said to him, Rabbi, I want to see. I want to see. Every question that God presents in your life is not for his answer, it's for yours. Have you, Bartimaeus, right? Have you been out here so long that now you've become accustomed to, used to, comfortable with your situation? Or are you tired of your situation? So my question today is simple. If you're sick of your situation, if you're sick of where you are, why don't you make a change today? You are not a tree. You don't have to stay in this same spot the rest of your life. Do you want to be made whole? I remember Joyce Meyer was giving her testimony, and she had been physically abused for her entire life, right, by her father. And her mother, years later, finally came to her and said, I apologize for what I let your father do to you. She said, I did not think that I could make it without him. And so I allow him to abuse you and do all this kind of stuff, right? Because I did not think I could take care of you and your brother without your father. And so we get comfortable with abuse. We get comfortable with all these type of things. But, oh, thank you, Holy Spirit. But the reason why you are tired, I believe that God placed that feeling of being tired so that you can help yourself, so that you can be able to move through and past what he wants you to move through. He's not going to take you anywhere that you don't want to go. Check it out right there. What do you want me to do for you? I'm not going to just come up, and just do stuff in your life without you got the permission. You have dominion over your own body. I'm not going to do it unless you want me to do it. That question right there, I can't get past it. What do you want me to do? It's obvious, but it's not obvious. Because the question was never for Jesus to get an answer. It was for that blind man to get an answer. Y'all put y'all comments in there. Y'all quiet this morning. I need you in here. I need you in here. What do you want God to do for you today? I believe he's asking that same question. He said, Rabbi, I want to see. You got to be able to put as Reverend Otis McMillan said, put your finger on your own problem. Put your finger on your own problem. 52 says, verse 52, Jesus said, go, your faith has healed you. Immediately he received sight and he followed Jesus along the road. He's no longer a beggar, but he was determined to get change, make change in his life. Not to get change, but to make change. That's a good analogy there. Are you comfortable with pocket change, or do you want to make a change? And I really want to make a change. Thank you guys, all you guys who have joined in. Really, really love the fact that we are all here and all one. I want you guys to stay safe. If you can, stay off the roads. It's supposed to be snowing right now. I'm looking out the window and I don't see much. It's 8:32? It's supposed to start at 7, I think. But I just pray this morning that if you're sick of your situation and you feel like it's not going to change, right? There's going to be a change. There's going to be a change. You can guarantee it. Here it is. Look for people telling you to shut up. Right? Find those people telling you to be quiet. And when you hear that, start rejoicing, because now you know that Christ is just around the corner. Amen. Lisa Prelude said, she said, I have a cousin in that situation that she has been praying. How does she come out of that situation? I think that a lot of times, I'm going to leave that up. I think a lot of times God has given us the power and ability to make change, and we almost stay in a posture of prayer. But after you prayed for it, now I got to figure out where's the plan. What is the plan for me to come out of the situation that we're in? So many times we get lazy, right? And we say, God, you do it. Well, no, you're the one with the body. You're the one with I've given you enough intellect. This man, and good God, this man, Jesus could have easily came to him. It would have been easier, Jesus, for you to walk to him, right? But he told the man to get up on your feet. Use what you have so that you can be healed. He said, my eyes not working, but my feet are working, right? So I think that we have to use what we have. And once you've prayed, that's just the first step. Faith without what? Works is dead, being alone. So it's not just about us believing it, but God always leaves room to say, I'm not going to do everything for you. Now you got to make a change. Now, I don't know exactly what your cousin's situation is, but I do know that sometimes God is just waiting on us to make a change. We'll say things like, I'm just waiting on God. I'm waiting on God. Well, no, God is waiting on you. But we're so nervous that we don't want to step out. It could be something where it's a financial issue, a relationship issue. And God is saying, I've opened the door for you. You've prayed. Now I have the faith to step out. And I think this week we're going to deal with faith a lot. And we've always dealt with faith, but faith, as we talked about in Bible study, is a decision. It's a decision to step out on what you believe. And she said it's a relationship issue. Yeah. So if I believe that God is going to make a way, like we was talking about with Joyce Meyer's parents, if I know that God is going to make a way, do I have the courage to step out on what I said I believed? Because if you pray without faith, faith will make you get up and step out on what you believe. So if I know that this is not the right relationship, or if I'm married, if I know I need to make steps to make that relationship work, what steps have I taken? Or am I just praying? So you praying, okay, God said, all right, I'm going to give it to you. But you got to move. Jump to your feet. And so I just say jump to your feet. Use what God has already given you. And then I talked to, we counseled this young couple. And I'm saying to the young man, they're not married, like, it's time for you to make a change. Well, I can't do this and I can't do that. Well, that's your decision. You've got to make a change because God ain't going to make it for you. He's going to do his part. But it's our responsibility to do our part. And I thank God for that question. Thank you to my brother, Anthony Feaster. Now, Anthony Feaster was working with me at that, that security job. We used to be overnight. I don't know he worked with me a couple of night shifts. And these guys, I'm talking about, a lot of them were comfortable in that situation. And you can't get mad at them. Right? And Lisa Prelude said, how can I help her? I think she got to be able to help herself. Maybe you can give her this. Well, don't give her this message because she don't know what you're talking about. But I think that she needs to be able to step out. Encourage her to step out. Now, of course, I'm not encouraging anybody to get a divorce or anything like that. Maybe the relationship issue is you getting counseling. Maybe it's you moving closer to God.
It could be. I would really have to know the details, and if you want to
message me later on, we definitely can chat about that. But yeah, Jesus is calling us, and it's amazing because
it was him shouting, right? But then them telling him to shut up, I believe is what
caught God's attention. Caught Christ's attention. So the amount of
what do you call it? Whatever. I can't think of the word.
I'm gone. Yeah, I guess our time is up. But it's.
I just believe that if you're tired of your situation,
right,
just like this man was
sitting on this side of the road, like, and a lot of us have your relationship could be your side of the road. Your job can be your side of the road, and it's your job right now to jump on your feet. You've already called out to him. Now you have the responsibility to jump up and say, I'm going to make a change.
I'm going to make a change. And so I hate to leave y'all this morning. I'm having a good
time, and I enjoyed the question. And I pray that you share. We always say the easiest way to evangelize
with this show is to
click the share button.
And so
please, 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 if it's not too much, just share it so that more people can be blessed by the word of God. And I tell you all the time,
I wake up in the morning and I may be having this morning was rough. And let me just tell you this story.
I can be transparent.
Y'all all family. But I woke up before my wife and I said, God, I just need you to speak to me. I just need some comfort. Whatever God, I just need you to tell me it's going to be okay. Right? And I said, whatever way, I said, you write it in the snow, just do that. I look out the window, none in the snow. I said, then my wife started waking up. I said, well, God, tell her and tell me something. So she woke up
and she gave me this word.
And we started talking about it. I said, God, thank you for your comfort. Thank you for you and her, just like I asked. And so it's really, really comforting. And I think that many of us can use
this word. I tell you all the time,
most of us who preach, if you want to know what we're dealing with personally, find out what we're preaching about. And we get strength
from sharing it with you, right? We get strength from sharing it with you. So thank you guys. I love y'all. Message me, share this, go to YouTube, subscribe if you haven't done so already. We're trying to pick up on YouTube a little more. And the link is right in our description. Love you guys to life. I will see you next time. Goodbye.